Hello and welcome back to the British basketball scene. I'm your host Reese, as always, and today we have something of a different kind of like podcast, so to speak, and it's about the UK and how they first got into basketball. Really, basketball, as you know, is not really the most known sport in the UK, and the first real mainstream phenomenon to take basketball into the eyes of the UK was Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes combining to make the fantastic Space Jam. And one of those people that the first influence of Space Jam was basketball was Space Jam is my guest at this time, Mr. Rob Bailey. How are you doing, sir?
And not too bad yourself.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Good.
So for those that don't know Rob, me and him, we met at university. Massive comic book fan, as you can see by the
Yeah.
paintings behind you. Um, so you do drama. How long have you been like in the drama game?
Oh, properly been in it. I'd say since secondary school, or what I believe up in the Midlands you'd call high school. Very American. Yeah, properly since I had to take it as a GCSE subject, and then been doing amateur dramatics, and then for about 15 years, and then went and took it at university finally. So
Massive leap to take, that is.
yeah, it was.
I mean, you've acted also in some quite high profile series and films as well. Like names for the stuff that you've managed to find yourself in.
Well, Chris, I wouldn't necessarily say high profile. I've
Wow.
been in a couple of student films, and also there was a little series called Fred Dinage Murder Case Books, which was on BBC, one of the BBCs, with Fred Dinage, the famous. I don't know if you ever saw How. It's like
No.
that's How for now, and it was like an old children's sort of show, and he also does like the ITV Meridian News as well down here.
Mm.
So yeah, quite a famous guy, and yeah, I think that's probably the most famous thing I've been in. I've done a little bit of extra work here and there. I think I was on I think it was Grey's Anatomy in the back of the TV. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, done a lot of stock footage, and basically, whenever you're watching a TV show, and in that TV show, they're watching a TV show, I will be on their TV. Because sometimes they don't have license to actually put like real TV programs on their TV program. I've said TV a lot, so yeah, I'll just be randomly in the back of it.
So this podcast is obviously all about Space Jam. I'm repping the big Space Jam hoodie just for
Lovely.
that. So I'm actually bearing the hot weather to wear a hoodie with Space Jam on it. So
It is hot.
um,
It is.
for those that don't know Space Jam, of course, where have you been all of your life? It's a massive. It came out in 1997 in the UK. It grossed about $230 million at the box office when it came out in the cinemas, and actually has a net like profit of $6 billion, including films, DVD sales, and merchandise sales as well. So the overall of the film, if you have seen it, then you know exactly what happens. So Michael, it starts with the Looney Tunes, and they're going about their business. Roadrunner, and he's getting chased, and the guys at Moron Mountain think they need some more things, so they send their little alien goopy things, and
Like slugs, aren't they? Like little.
yeah, they look like the French would eat them.
They
Oh,
do.
so
Yeah.
a bit of a delay
New
there.
form of escargot.
But yeah, and then it cuts to Michael Jordan. He's now not a basketball player anymore. He's now a baseball player. He's playing baseball, and he's playing pretty bad. But he's got all these yes men around him, and it's kind of yeah, he's playing really bad. He comes in, kids are watching the Looney Tunes, and then something happens. The Looney Tunes are going on another expedition elsewhere, and they've been invaded by some aliens. The kids don't know what's going on. So we get to the Moron Mountain thing. They challenge them to a basketball game, and what happens next? Michael Jordan goes out playing golf with Larry Bird and um, Bill Murray of all
Bill
people.
Murray. I love the fact Bill Murray is in this.
Bill
And he
Murray.
makes a special appearance at the end as well, doesn't he?
Bill Murray, of all people, playing golf with Michael Jordan, saying like, I could play in the NBA. Don't you think, Larry Bird?
And it's like,
no, you're too short. You're a bit on the round side. No. But so they go against these, because the little slug things that we just mentioned, they were going up against. Well, they had actually stolen the identities of players: Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Sean Bradley, and Larry Johnson, and also Muggsy Bogues as well. So they'd had these, their talents. They got bad. There's even one point where Charles Barkley gets hit in the face with a basketball from a chest pass.
yes.
And then so they play them. They're getting battered at halftime. They go into the third quarter. Michael Jordan gives everyone his special steroid juice, which is just water. And they end up winning because Bill Murray comes in, as we said before.
Saves the day.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, I'll run the play. Right, so I want the ball. Bill, we're on defense. Okay. I don't play defense. It was great.
It's mad, and it's and they managed to steal the basketball players' powers with magic basketball.
Yeah.
That just sucks away all their powers. And I think right at the end, Michael Jordan goes back to all these basketball players who've lost their mojo. One even ends up like he can't walk anymore, can he? He's literally like, they didn't just take his ability to play basketball; they took his ability to walk.
Yeah.
So he's in the wheelchair for like all of the movie. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I loved just the whole scene of them like, man, I don't know what's happened. They have Patrick and Sean walking at the back, and they just hit their head on the door frame in the hospital.
Oh yeah, that's.
And they have Charles Barkley in the church. I promise not to swear anymore. I wish I could do that. To be fair. And so we get to the end of near the end of the film. They're down by 2 points. No, they're down by 1 point. Michael Jordan just figures out that he can go into stretch mode and become Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's I don't know I don't know how that happened. I mean,
they're the Looney Tunes.
Yeah, but I mean, Michael Jordan was not. I guess he did go into the Looney Tune world, didn't he? So maybe he gained some sort of Looney Tune power. I'm not sure. It's all a bit all a bit on the nose, isn't it? Yeah, he stretches his arm out just ridiculously far, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's incredibly he goes he leaps at half court and just tries to as far as you can, and just tries. I mean, he gets it in. He wins the game for him. He has all he gets the ball and gets his powers back. The head of Moron Mountain gets launched into space. And then we have a song of "I Believe I Can Fly" by someone I don't really want to mention for obvious reasons.
Also that's the first thing you hear.
Yes.
I believe, in all of Space Jam.
Yeah.
And you see a basketball dink, and you're like, "Oh, that's yeah."
Yeah, it kind of ruins the watching, if I'm honest, especially after watching the documentary about the man. So and then the powers have been returned to all the players. Muggsy Bogues can dribble again. Ewing can dunk. Barkley can do whatever he does.
The bloke can walk.
He can finally walk again. He's no longer bound to a wheelchair. And instead of going back to basketball, he returns to basketball for a bit, and then the infamous Michael Jordan returning to basketball comes to fruition. So then we get the "I Believe I Can Fly" song, and that's the end of the film. That's kind of a quick run through of Space Jam, to be fair. And for those that don't know, Rob, you're not really, you don't really know anything about basketball other than Space Jam.
No, I think Space Jam, and also when I was growing up on a old TV show called Fox Kids back in the day. I think it was Fox Kids. There was a basketball show called Slam Ball, where they had trampolines at either end of the court. And I used to love that. I thought that was great because I had a trampoline in the back garden, which I used to, do the old wrestling on. And you could do same with basketball or whatever. I'd have a mate the other side just trying to, chat basketballs, and I'd jump about and catch them. But yeah, they're about the only only kind of influences I've had from basketball, other than a little bit of school, I think.
Yeah, I think like with the UK, like no one really teaches it unless they've like gone out of their way to like seek it or gone out of their way to look at it. Like I don't know, like it definitely wasn't a thing growing up. Like was it that much of a thing growing up for you?
There wasn't at primary school. We had netball.
Yeah.
So I used to play netball. I was actually decent, very good wing defence, I'd say. But it was always considered a girls' version of basketball, which
Yeah.
it not necessarily true. It's just very, very different. Not allowed to dribble at all. And then when it got to secondary school, yeah, they did have a basketball club you could join, which was pretty cool because a couple of my mates were into basketball at the time. So yeah, it was it wasn't big. Like it wasn't like football or rugby or yeah. I mean, they're basically the main two sports around here, aren't they?
Yeah.
Or
That
team
and cricket
sports anyway.
as well.
What was that?
That and cricket as well.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
cricket nowadays, it's boring.
It's yeah. Not a bit. It's like the poor man's baseball, isn't it?
Yeah. You wouldn't see Michael Jordan quitting football to go and play cricket, would you?
Cricket. Oh. But, yeah, there were clubs about, but it just wasn't as big. And I do think Space Jam had a big influence.
Yeah, absolutely. I think because I was talking to Lawrence McKenna in my last interview, and he said a lot of his influence for basketball came from Space Jam. What was it about Space Jam that like lured you towards the film? Was it just like the whole Looney Tunes like sort of combination with real world?
I mean, I was a big Looney Tunes fan growing up. Still am. I think I've still got a couple of figures. I'll tell you what, I spent all morning about 2 hours up in the loft looking for my Space Jam figures. So I actually had amazing. Some of the original, not the complete crew, but I had like a couple of the original figures. I think the actual little slugs got lost, but I still had a couple of the big lads. But couldn't find them. So that was disappointing. I was going to have props. Instead, I managed just to get the VHS of Space Jam itself. There we go.
That is brilliant. That's a vintage collector's item there.
Vintage.
Vintage Michael Cole.
Indeed. But no, it's where were we? Lost my place now.
Just kind of like being like brought in to Space Jam via the Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes, yeah. I was a huge Looney Tunes fan. And also I think it was one of the first, if not the first, to have live action meet with cartoons.
Yeah.
I think. There was another film called Toon World, I believe it was, or Cool World, but that was a more like adult sort of thing. Rather than but this was definitely the first mainstream. 100%. And I thought that concept was great growing up. Just real people with cartoons. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And even though I wasn't into basketball, I'd heard of Michael Jordan before Space Jam, I'm sure.
Yeah. Who didn't?
It's the same. Like, I'm not a fan of baseball, but I've heard of Babe Ruth.
Yeah. Or like football, but you've heard of like guys like Messi, Ronaldo, and Beckham because they're highly marketable players. Like Michael Jordan was everywhere back in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. And like same as Shaq.
Yeah.
I guess I've got. I think I've shown you before. I got like a can of like this blueberry soda or whatever with Shaq's face on. Like
Shaq soda.
Like an American candy shop.
I need to pick one of those up. I need to pick one of those because they look amazing.
If I see one, I'll pick it up for you.
They look amazing, but also they kind of look like they don't taste nice at all.
It's just the size of the cans. I swear it's it's more than a pint. I swear in one of these cans, it's ridiculous.
I mean, they do everything like very large in America, like the supersized meals. Have you ever watched that?
Me, yeah.
Oh, that documentary is brilliant. That documentary is hilarious.
But anyway, back to Looney Tunes. Yeah, I think it was Looney Tunes was great. I love the slapstick element. Even in Space Jam, you get away with stuff that you definitely wouldn't get away with now. There's a bit where it's Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam rock up in like the sort of Men in Black sort of black suits. I think it's a take on. Oh, I can't. I want to say Reservoir Dogs, but it's not. What's the one with I can't remember now. It's got Samuel Jackson in.
Oh.
I can't remember.
Pulp Fiction.
Yes, there we go.
Pulp
I think it's
Fiction.
taken that because didn't Eddie and Booker T do a
Yeah.
for one of the
Yes.
WrestleManias? But yeah, basically they rock up and just pull a gun out and shoot out one of the aliens' teeth in the middle of a basketball game. I'm just like, how the yeah, they just beat each other up. It's like that kind of cartoon ultra violence. So, same with like the Itchy and Scratchy, Tom and Jerry sort of. And I was always a big fan of that. It's just great. Yeah. And so combining that with a Space Jam, with live action, I just thought that's amazing. I know this sort of like technology has increased like so much nowadays, but that was a huge jump in my opinion. And I was just like wowed. I remember seeing the trailer for it, and I was like, oh, I need to see this.
Yeah.
It was great.
I mean, to be fair, everyone needs to see it. If you haven't watched it, I don't know what you're doing with your life because it's one of the best films out there. It's definitely one of my favourite films for sure.
Yeah, it's great. and I think it holds up. I really do think it holds up. Like, saw some of the to be fair, because they didn't use a lot of CGI and stuff back then, the animation still holds up. If not, it's better than some of the stuff on TV nowadays.
Yeah.
Especially when the little slugs transform into the Monstars and they've got like proper sweet animation. Yeah.
And there's a bit of one instance of really horrible CGI. It's when the assistant goes, Michael, I can come in. He gets the ball and he gets flattened by the Monstars and they've got to pump him up and he just blows away. That CGI looked a bit
oh yeah, no,
horrible.
I remember what you mean now. Yeah, it's like when they get run over by the completely flat and it's just like a round circle on the floor. God.
And they do the CGI with when they squish Michael Jordan up in the gym, and it's just his head and they're bouncing it around. It's like, the CGI for that is horrendous.
Okay, maybe I'll take back my comment. The majority of animation holds up pretty decently.
Yeah, for most part, like the film is very like you wouldn't be able to tell it was made like 94, 95.
No,
it was brought out in 96. So I think you can show it to kids and they will be like, yeah, this is great. I think that's why them bringing out a second one is probably going to be very important for a boom period for the UK basketball as well.
Yeah. I hope it will. I think that'd be great because the boom for anything, especially something that, because I know you're incredibly passionate about basketball. I've got a couple of friends who love basketball too, and I know it'd be great for them and great for like younger kids who are into it as well. Like me and you watched Space Jam and wanted the opportunity to play basketball as a kid, but never really got the ability to, or the school didn't really do a basketball club.
So if they market it well, I mean, they've got the massive figure in LeBron James heading it. They showed off the set. They've got the court ready. They've got the green screens and everything. So hopefully, I think it's going to be coming like 2022, maybe, if we're lucky.
I think so. Yeah, if cinemas are open by then.
We hope so. I mean, I'm itching to get back and watch some decent films. I'm stuck watching the entire marathon of the Marvel films in order. It's not the worst thing. Captain Marvel is horrendous. Captain Marvel is horrendous.
Yeah, it's not good. And I'm not a big fan of Black Panther either. They could have done so much more with it. It's highly overrated. Honestly.
I loved it. I've watched it like 3 times now. Like I'm going to watch it again because I'm going in order. So I'm not skipping over it. I've watched it twice since being back here in lockdown.
Did you start with the Hulk?
No, the Hulk is actually not on Disney.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, no, it's not. You're right, yeah.
So I've had to go from Captain America because I'm going in chronological. So Captain America the first one, then Marvel, and then Iron Man, and then I'm going on to Thor next.
Lovely. Are you going to skip Thor: Dark World? Because that's pretty awful.
No, I'm actually going to bear it. Because what we're doing is we're rating all the films. So we're just we're kind of just I'm leaving because Captain Marvel I gave a 1 out of 10.
Fair.
I'm saving my 0 out of 10 for Thor: Dark World because I know I haven't ever seen it, but from what everyone has you've just told me, it's horrendous.
To be fair, it's not as bad as everyone makes it out to be, but it's it's forgettable.
Yeah,
I would say.
So would you would you expect this like Space Jam 2 to be bigger than Space Jam 1 if it came out in the UK as well?
I mean, I'm sure it's going to come out in the UK, but I think it will for the same reason that Star Wars, the latest Star Wars had such big ratings. It's because it's been so long since it that the amount of people who are amped up to see it, it's going to get massive box office numbers.
Yeah.
It's going to go through the roof. It really is.
I can only hope so.
Yeah, and I pray it's good.
Yeah, actually.
I really do, because not that I don't hold up hope for sequels and movies done a couple of years later, but Star Wars hasn't actually been amazing.
Yeah.
Should we say?
Yeah.
So I really do hope it's decent, because I think that could also be a bad thing, because it could completely.
It could flop.
Could it have a negative effect on the basketball scene if it's awful?
Oh, it could actually, yeah. It could, you could, have the movie be, flop at... it wouldn't flop at box office, actually. It would probably get a lot of people watching it, but then the bad reviews start coming, and, a lot of people won't want to play basketball because of that film.
No,
because
just flop on Rotten Tomatoes, won't it? Or just...
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But let's hold out hope. I think it could be good. I'm not sure what LeBron James. Not sure what his acting ability is like. But then Michael Jackson.
There's not every day that you get Michael Jackson and Michael Jordan confused.
Well, yeah. To be fair, Michael Jordan wasn't awful in Space Jam. To be honest, he's done a pretty solid job. So yeah, hopefully it'll be good. And I think either way, it's going to rake in at the box office.
Yeah,
it's going to be good. And I think what do they say nowadays? It's all about raising awareness, I guess.
Yeah.
Same with charity, mental health, all the rest of it. It's all about So it will definitely do that. I mean, nowadays, I remember when it was first announced, it was all over my Facebook feed.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the majority of people had it posted. Just Space Jam, looking forward to Space Jam 2. And I was like, yes, let's
get this hype going.
This is some good news. Yeah, let's get the hype rolling. But again, if it's out in 2022, there's going to be 2 years of hype.
Yeah, it could slow down by then.
Yeah, that's the thing. I hope it kind of eases out a little bit, because too much hype has too much expectation.
Absolutely. And with watching Space Jam, how many times have you watched it? Endless amount of times.
God,
can you even count on both of your hands?
No. I must have watched it at least. I'd say probably over 30. Yeah. 30 odd times, man.
Did you pick up a lot of basketball knowledge from there, or did you just focus more on the Looney Tunes and the and the slapstick?
Honestly, probably more the Looney Tunes and the slapstick, because there is some degree of basketball knowledge in that, but they don't necessarily play with the exact rules. As I say, they've got guns. At one point, Bugs Bunny's on a moped. Just randomly spawns out of nowhere.
Some dynamite.
I was going to say they attached a load of bombs and some dynamite to the ring. I don't know what it's called, the ring post.
The rim.
Goals.
The backboard.
That's the one. So yeah, clearly I did not pick.
But I mean, it is an interesting concept to get your knowledge of a sport from a mainstream film. I think a lot of people will look at the next Space Jam that will be coming out, and like have an understanding of basketball, especially if you look at it beforehand. But like, did you have any like, did you want to look up like basketball stuff after you watched that film?
Um, to be fair, I think initially, yeah. I think initially I did get like an initial interest, and my grandparents used to travel to America a decent amount there. And so I remember at one point, I think it might have even been like a Lakers jersey or something they bought that for me.
That's awesome.
Like, not like a, not wasn't a signed one or whatever, but
Yeah.
like it was the old classic like purple and yellow sort of thing. And I definitely wore it. I had a couple of like, I swear I had like a couple of basketball shorts. Definitely, I still have a couple just because they're nice and breezy, especially in this weather.
Oh, good lord!
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
I just nipped to the shop and it was absolutely horrendous out there.
Yeah,
I mean,
and the shop's not too far either.
No, it's about 30. Like for those watching, I live about 30 seconds away from the corner shop. It is roasting. I was sweating coming back. It was horrendous.
Yeah.
It's absolutely horrid. And you live like what, 20 seconds away as well?
Yeah.
It's just the exact same. It's horrendous.
Oh.
But we do what we got to do to get milk for
To get
cups
by.
of tea.
Yeah. Obviously, social distancing, wearing masks, all the
Yes.
stuff.
Yes, wear your masks, people, please. Yeah,
Exactly.
just point you. Masks,
I saw
please.
someone on the bus the other day. He literally they had it on and they just took it off, and it was just like protecting their 5 chins.
Oh
so
no!
I was just like, what's the point? And I saw someone smoking through it as well. I saw like literally like holding the cigarette to the just be sensible, like.
Everybody, be careful in this trying time of social distancing and coronavirus, because we don't want you getting ill. I want you to. If anything, I want you guys to stay around, subscribe, like this video, and also share it around with anybody that you know. That is what I would like you guys to do.
What a cheap plug. I would be proud.
Absolutely. So, anything that you'd like to like plug, or like anything that you'd like to like just give out, like shout out?
Not really, man. No.
Well, to like put a bit of light on yourself. The logo for this for this channel was actually drawn by my guest Rob here. My good mate. I asked for a little favor to do one for The Average Pundits, which is the football podcast that I do over with my other mate Joe. And I was like, because you'd actually drawn me and the missus before, and I thought, this is amazing. Why can't I have this on the logo? And in fact, I have. You know what? I'll show it here. I have it on a T-shirt.
Oh, mate.
So I have it on a T-shirt. So yeah, the logo that has been drawn was by yours truly, Rob Bailey. So I mean, is there any way that I can leave like an email address in the description?
If you want to leave my email address in the comments, I think you've got it already.
Yeah.
So drop me an email or something if you want something drawn up. I don't really do charging or rates, but if you want to throw me, a couple of quid or whatever, see what's about, see if you like it.
Hard times, got to make as much money as possible in lockdown, so.
Hard times, brother.
As the once great Dusty Rhodes did say. So, as I said before, if you wouldn't mind, please subscribing, liking this video, commenting if you like this type of video, and I will do this a lot more. We can go through other basketball films, maybe watch them and give them a bit of a review. I know I'm a fan of a film like Coach Carter and stuff like that. So I can go through with other guests and do that. But Rob, thank you very much for talking Looney Tunes and Space Jam with me.
No worries, mate.
It was great. It was a very casual chat, and if you like these casual chats, again, subscribe for more of this content. But for now, goodbye.